Those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the AMP Media Studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat in the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in toll free 888-994-4995, Studio A right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
Seven's Joe Rhodes shows us how recording this living history is now vital for future generations.
I was liberated in Czechoslovakia in 1945.
Holocaust survivor Morris Dan recounts the moments he was freed from a concentration camp at the end of World War II.
I was not able to stand up, so the Czech people took me down with a stretcher because I was bone and skin.
His parents and siblings never joined him.
I lost all my family and the gas chamber. I'm the only one which I can speak for them.
In 50 years, Dan will...
And we're back. You got to switch the A bus on to hear it.
We will get that piece over to you again later on in the show. A spectacular piece. Welcome everyone to...
Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe.
It's our brunch hour live on 95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, 1470 AM, and live streaming all over social media. We have a great show lined up for you today, so you may definitely want to call in or write in with questions or comments. 888-565-1470. Say good morning to Mr. Radio.
That's right. That's the number right there.
You say good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Radio.
Good morning.
What do you mean you can't hear it?
Well, now I can.
No, you couldn't hear the opening?
I heard the opening, but once it was over, I couldn't hear the mics.
In between the piece. So that is a piece brought to us by Channel 7. So we are going to put that piece back up in a little bit, and I want to play it. So let's roll that piece out, guys, because I think
I don't think he can hear it.
We have it on now. It's definitely an important piece to do.
How about hello?
All right, so let's roll it.
So we have the A bus now?
Yes.
All right, so we didn't have it on
Joe
before?
Rhodes shows us how recording this living history is now vital for future generations.
I was liberated in Czechoslovakia in 1945.
Holocaust survivor Morris Dan recounts the moments he was freed from a concentration camp at the end of World War II.
I was not able to stand up, so the Czech people took me down with a stretcher because I was bone and skin.
His parents and siblings never joined him.
I lost all my family and the gas chamber. I'm the only one which I can speak for them.
In 50 years, Dan will still speak for his family, and he'll speak for himself as well.
I am the only one right now standing in the front of you and telling you the honest truth, that the reason I lost my family is because I was Jewish.
His words will stand the test of time through the Steven Spielberg Shoah Foundation's Dimensions in Testimony project. Dan is one of 2 survivors who is being asked 1,000 questions at the Holocaust Documentation and Education Center in Dania Beach. His answers will be used to create responses asked by a live audience in the future.
We understand very well that like maybe in 10, 15 years, we won't be any Holocaust survivors alive, and people will be still able to ask them the questions and will be able to hear from them directly.
Creators say Dan's words will make sure the truth lives so that we can learn from it.
They're here really because we know what hatred, bigotry, and prejudice can do.
Those involved with the project say we don't have to wait to start learning. What happened in World War II is playing out before our eyes.
When he talks about, the German tanks and army rolling up into his town in Poland in September 39 and the shock and the disbelief they had, and then we're watching kind of, a similar sense of shock and disbelief.
As for Dan, he draws a direct and personal connection.
I call him a Hitler. He is not better than that.
He also has something to say to the leaders who are watching.
To help them as much as we can in every way, by the air, by sea, by foot, by car, to fight it back. They have an opportunity that they have people now which they're willing to help. In my time, nobody wants to help us. Nobody.
The Holocaust Documentation and Education Center will be hosting the filming project through the end of the day. Reporting from the Newsplex, Joe Rotes, Today in Florida.
And now we start. Welcome to the Brooklyn Cafe. And it was a spectacular piece. I want to thank Slick for putting that together.
Absolutely.
So that we can air it. We had it this morning, and we put that together thanks to, I think it was Channel 7.
Channel 7, WSVN.
Giving everybody credit. Amazing story. Amazing story, and in the time now, it amplifies the word amazing. Because this gentleman is in the studio today. And this is part one, because we're going to do a second part. You said we're going to come back, and we're going to sort of picture and things that he had?
Yeah, I'm very excited. We've got Morris Dann joining us, the incredible Holocaust survivor that you just heard and listened to on this piece. If you're listening to us on WWNN, if you are watching us, you will get to meet Morris and his son, Sam, in person. And truly two incredible men, stories of survival and perseverance. And the most important thing is they're sharing the information and getting it out, because without the education, without the information, we are bound to repeat history, and unfortunately, we see it happening before our very eyes.
That's right. Some world leaders do not learn from history, and they just repeat it. And it's a good point that he made during that piece as well.
So the power of social media. Sam had made a post talking about his fathers, how they were doing the documentation of the piece a couple of weeks ago that you just saw, and we reached out, and fortunately they live close in the area, and here they are. So let's introduce Morris Dann and Sam Dann. Thank you both so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Morris, welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
You are how old? Because this is amazing, everybody.
When I came into the camp?
When you came here into our studio.
Today.
How old are you now?
Huh?
How old are you now?
Now I'm 96 years old.
God bless you. Years young, right?
Years young. Unbelievable.
Well, let's go back. You have questions?
No, you start and then I'll color in.
You were living in Poland.
I was born in Poland, not far from Warsaw, small town called Szczechanów.
And you were how old when the war started?
I was 15 years old.
And at 17, you tell me?
At 17, I went to the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp.
And you went with, how many? You went with your mother and father?
My father had been taken right away to the gas chamber and put gas in, and after that they put them in the oven, burn the bodies. Even the bones were burned, such a hot oven that melt the bones. And the ashes, they took it out, they mixed it, and they fixed streets with it.
Holy smokes.
Germany.
Wow.
Just ashes. There was no bones.
And your mother was taking...
Together with me, and they were separated where the train was stopped, and everybody went out, and they looked in. There was a German, now I know who it is, Mengele, looked in the eyes. He said, you go to the left, you go to the right. And I didn't know why I'm going to the left. My mom, you're going to the right. But I find out after I came into the camp, where I asked people already in the camp, where is my mom and my family? He told me, look on the chimney. I said, what chimney? The big chimney here. I thought this man is crazy. What does it mean, look in the chimney? I asked next day another person. He told me the same thing, in the chimney. The third person to explain me that there were gas, poison gas, and burying the bodies. Now I understand where my mom, my dad, my family went, through the chimney.
And your sisters as well.
Sisters,
To answer your
brothers,
question, his parents,
yeah,
2 sisters, and 1 younger brother
yeah.
was sent to the gas chambers, and him and 2 brothers were sent to the labor camp.
And you were telling us you and 1 brother made it out of the labor camp.
I survived, my brother survived too.
And how old was your brother?
2 years older.
And then you were telling me 2 of your other brothers, the older brothers, they had already left and gone to Russia.
Two brothers went to Russia.
And then they moved to Israel afterwards?
survived.
They survived. How did they get out?
One went right away to the Polish army, and one was a barber. He opened a barber shop and he survived.
They left before the Jews were sent to the camps.
Yeah.
They escaped. They left the town early before
A year
it got
before.
bad. About a year
Yeah.
before they shipped everybody to the camps.
And here's the question I'm sure everybody asked you. How did you keep going every day?
This question everybody is asking, and it's a hard answer. Because it's impossible to survive. I always believe tomorrow, but sometimes it was impossible. I had some friends, and they couldn't hold on. After a year and a half in Birkenau, Auschwitz, they went to grab the electrical wire, and they said, Morris, I cannot handle it no more. They grabbed the electrical wire, and they were electrocuted because they were surrounded by electrical wires. So he told me goodbye, and he grabbed the wires, and he died. Myself, I was 2 years being in camp. I wanted to do the same thing, and I was going to the wires. Something come to my brain and said, stop. You want to believe or you don't want to believe? I believe. Told me to stop, not to grab the wire. Go back to your barrack. And I listened to the voice which told me not to go to grab the wires. I went back, and I went back to the same work, and I hold on, and I pray every day. Maybe tomorrow. I was living day by day, because every day I had people, my friends, dying on the job, dying in the barracks, dying of food, dying of sickness. You imagine the morning I got a piece of bread with a piece of coffee. They call it coffee, I call it black water. Till 12 o'clock, they give us a little bit of soup. This was not a soup, there was some kind of cows eating green stuff, and that's what the soup. And we'll continue to work from 6 till 6. Some people died. Some people couldn't hold on from the hunger, from the dirt. And you should see the suit what I was wearing. I have a picture of the suit what I was wearing for nearly 3 years. The same suit, the same coat, and the same underwear.
For 3 years.
How can you live for 3 years to wear the same clothes? It was impossible. So people died right and left. Sickness. I had friends, my friends, I came from my town, and they died. And they told Morris, I can't hold, I'm sick, I cannot work. You go out of the work, they didn't let you stop for a minute, only for 20, 50 minutes to grab something to eat, their soup. And you had to work with a pick and shovel. I was working in they call it a kids group. You take off sand, you put it in bags, you ship it to the soldiers. A whole day, day after day after day. And they cannot stop. Who will stop? They shoot them. They don't need people, sick people. They shoot them right there. So nearly every day they had one person to carry into the camp, to the gas chamber. And that was a day after day. How I made it, I cannot answer you. Because my own friends, they come together with me from my little town, and I saw them dying, and I did not. I cannot answer you. How come I didn't die? How did I survive? It's impossible. But I am here to tell you the honest truth. That's what it was for nearly 3 years. How I made it, I cannot tell you.
Do you remember the morning when, I guess they came in, the troops came in to end the suffering? Do you remember that morning?
Liberation?
The day of liberation?
The liberation?
Liberation, when they liberated the camp.
I was not liberated in the camp. They took me out of the camp. They did not believe that they're going to lose the war. So they picked up all the nice boys, good boys, healthy boys, put them on a train, and tried to go to Germany with about 2,000 young boys. I was between. But the Russian advanced very fast. American advanced from the west, Russian from the east. They left me in a trucks outside Czechoslovakia, Theresienstadt, on the trucks. And they left for 3 days. I didn't know. We didn't get no bread, no water. I couldn't move. I couldn't stand up. Luckily, the Czech people find out that there's a train there full of Holocaust survivors. They opened. I couldn't stand up. They had to carry me out on a stretcher, take me to the hospital, Czech people, and give me little by little food because I couldn't eat too much because the stomach was shrink. And it took 6 weeks. I was able to go. And the first thing, I still didn't believe that my mom is dead. So I went back to my town where I was living, and no money, no passport, just the number on my hand. I want to show you the number.
You're going to show us it?
This is my number, 74,886. When I came in the camp, that's what the kind of people they were. The rest were dying. So
show it to the camera.
I was traveling with this.
Morris, she wants to show her
She wants it
your
on the
arm.
camera so we can show her, Morris.
There you go.
Now I wanna go into, Morris, what you see going on today. And I know this is not easy for you, but what you see going on today, is it bringing back the flashbacks of what started out when this thing happened to you?
I tell you something, but I
talk it to your mic.
I spoke to the other.
The mic close to your.
I spoke to the other people in the interview. I said we have exactly another Hitler, because Hitler killed women and children, everybody, no matter what. And I'm asking the whole world to stand up and to help, because the Jews didn't have nobody put a finger to help them. They went to the gas chamber and the crematorium, but nobody standing, say, no, we'll stop it, we'll fight back. Nobody did nothing. Here, we have somebody, free country, that can try to help the women and the children not to get killed for no reason at all. Hitler did the same thing. And that's what I'm asking. The people should wake up and do something. But they do something, at least. Something has been done. We didn't have no chance at all.
And here we are back at it again. So when you went back to your town, it was still looking for his mom.
I went
after
back
all
to,
of that.
I went back to my little town, and I wanted to the same place when I was born, the little shack. And I asked Polish people, did you see anybody from my family? And he said no, but he said, I have something for you. I said, what do you have for me? He said, I have something. Come to my apartment. And he opened the drawer, and he gave me pictures from my mom, from my father, grandfather, sister, and brother. I kiss him for that. You know what this means to see, look, to get the pictures at least from my mom and my family. I took it, and I thank him very much, and I didn't know what to do for him. This Polish man worked for us. We had a bakery. He worked for us. When we left, we gave him the cabinets, the whole furniture, and the pictures were there. He didn't throw them out. He kept them till I came back. It was amazing. And I still have the picture. I would like to show it to you. My mom, my grandpa, my sisters and brother. I wanted to bring it, but my son said you don't need it.
Well, we're going to bring you back because we want to put the
He has
whole
other
pictures
pictures.
and all that. We want to take some pictures of his pictures and put it because you're right. You know, I mean, how do you say this? You were brought here to tell the story, and we have to listen. This is what's going on right now. So, you know, it's like what happened. I can't even fathom, because I am not Jewish, about what that feels like today, about what you went through. But I have spoken to a number of Jews when I was in New York City, and they all show me the numbers, and they explain what you're explaining. And this is why we have to be very careful with what's going on right now. Politics aside, you know, you're talking about people's lives.
This is humanity, yes.
So we have to be very, very careful. The Ukrainians in this case are fighting back. They do not want to stop, and they want help. And we're going to have to figure out a way of doing that, because it's getting to a point where this is going on, not in the gas chamber, but it's going on in buildings and schools, and they're doing it on purpose. And, you know, the face of evil has come again. And I wish to take you to all of these people and say, listen, you want to hear a story? Let me tell you one. I mean, taking ashes and making a street? Really?
And the thing is, without you sharing this information, it
Yeah.
doesn't get out. They talk about Auschwitz being liberated, which is why you asked. You were not even there. You and thousands of people, young men,
2,000,
were
Right.
on a train.
Right.
You
To
were
die.
never liberated,
Right.
in the essence of what it is.
They're all in the same situation that I was. It would be one more day we would all of us died, because they left, and they left because they knew the Russian coming, and they left us with no bread, with no water for 3 days. Luckily, the Czechs, like I said, the Czech people find out there's a train with Holocaust survivor, and they rescue us. One more day, I would die, because I couldn't walk no more. was skin, and that's it. I couldn't stand up. Lucky, one more day, everybody would die on this train.
Well, you have been blessed to live and be here for a reason, and is to share the story. Let's take a quick commercial break.
Let's do that.
Take a quick commercial break. When we come back, more with Morris Dan and his son, Sam. The stories are remarkable, and I'm thrilled that we have the opportunity to bring more of the story forward. He has pictures we'll talk about when he gets back that he was able to liberate from the camps when he left. So stay tuned, 888-994-4995. The radio station is 888-565-1470, and we will patch you right through. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Have you been injured in a car accident, slip and fall, or through the negligence of another? The lawyers at Shane M. Farnsworth, PA have over 40 years of combined experience representing injured individuals and their families. Call us today at 561-272-8337 for a free case evaluation and the answers to your legal questions. Were you injured in an accident that wasn't your fault? Don't let the insurance companies take advantage of you. Contact us now to learn about your options and to protect your rights.
Even though some things are far away, we plan for them ahead of time because they're important. When it comes to your celebration of life, it's really no different. You want to plan ahead now so your family doesn't have to later, and create a service that reflects your values, character, and traditions, no matter what they may be. At Dignity Memorial, we listen to every detail and make sure everyone is remembered.
Welcome to Mini Donut World, where the donuts are hot, fresh, and delicious, made to order and customizable by you. Gourmet specialty flavors such as apple pie, French toast, campfire, and strawberry cheesecake are always popular. Looking to tailor your appetite? Build your own mini donuts. Choose from over 18 flavored donut bases, add on your icing flavor, and choose from over 15 toppings and drizzles. While kids enjoy our design your own kits to take home, our 21 and over customers love our alcohol-infused donuts. Come visit Mini Donut World at 8763 Sterling Road in Cooper City. Have questions or want to place an order? Give us a call at 954-369-2301. We know you will love each bite of our deliciously distinctive mini donuts.
Cool, calm, collected. Needing a drink to end a long day, or maybe to start your vacation right? Gubba Rum is here to let you kick back and do just that. Inspired by a technique that dates back to the 1800s, these artisanal, organic, and naturally infused rums are made from pure cane and the finest fruits, spices, and herbs the world has to offer. Gubba Silver is infused with naturally shredded coconut, and Gubba Gold is infused with real vanilla bean. Simply shake and enjoy. Visit GubbaRum.com to find the nearest location to buy or enjoy. All establishments have personally reviewed and enjoyed firsthand the wicked smoothness of Gubba Rum. 35% ABV and 70 proof. Gubba Rum, it's wicked smooth.
Being a successful woman in business means having the courage to own who you are. We understand the challenges faced by women, and we are here to help. Our team is here to develop the best strategy designed just for you. Your path is unique, and with the right tools, you can accomplish your dream. From radio to TV, from podcasting to magazines, we create the visibility to amplify your impact in business. At New Dawn Media, we are here to help bring your message forward and help your business flourish. It is time for your message to be seen and your voice to be heard. Contact us at 866-224-5422 or brooklyncafe.tv. Your voice can make a difference.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
This portion of today's show is brought to you by Gubba Rum. It's wicked smooth.
Welcome. We're back. This portion of the show brought to you by
Gubba Rum. It's wicked smooth. Steve Gubb, I know you're watching this show, and I know this story. Steve has so many stories as well. So
Does he? I didn't know that.
Steve always has stories.
Wow. We should have told him to call in today.
But we're fortunate enough to bring more information forward to you from Morris Dan and his son Sam. And Sam, I have to thank you so much because you sit here so patiently with your dad to hear the stories that you say you grew up with.
Yeah, look, I know it's very important. He's 96 years old, and the more that his word gets spread, again, I think we're all under the realization that survivors are not going to be here for how many, maybe 5 or 10 more years, and then you're going to have people saying, you already have Holocaust deniers, even while they're still alive. So it's so important that we get this on tape, that we do the hologram
Mike?
that show is doing, that he speaks to kids at school. So, if I can be somewhat instrumental in facilitating that, I'm happy.
What was it like for you growing up and hearing stories from your dad? You also tell me your mom, she was hidden though, so her story was totally different.
Yeah, my mom was hidden with her sister. My grandmother brought them to a convent, and they were hidden in the convent until after the war. My grandmother also has some crazy stories, but because they were blonde, it was different for women. Some women could escape, or they could be. You didn't know they were Jewish unless somebody betrayed them. So they were able to get around anybody pointing fingers at them. So yeah, my mom and her sister, younger sister, were hidden in a convent, and after the war, they didn't even know they were Jewish. My grandmother came to pick them up and said, "You're my children. You're Jewish. We need to. You got to leave the convent." So that's their story.
And what country were they in?
In Poland also.
They were in Poland, but your parents didn't meet in Poland.
No, they met in Montreal.
Which is a spectacular story.
When I came to Canada as a Holocaust survivor, and I went to a barber shop, and the barber was Jewish too, and he asked me where I'm from, and I told him the story about Auschwitz-Birkenau burning the bodies, gas chambers. He went to the people there sitting, other people, and he said that I am a little bit crazy because what I'm telling him, my mom, my friend, they all were gas and burned. He said that I'm a crazy man. And then really, how can you believe that this can happen? Taking human beings, put it in a gas chamber, and take out the body and put it in an oven. I have pictures of the gas chamber. I have pictures of the oven, how you're shoving in the bodies. So I don't blame the people. Some people don't believe. When I'm telling them stories, they said, it is not normal.
You can't believe the atrocities, right?
Myself,
Can't
today,
believe it.
it's impossible. How did I come out alive, normal, and talking normal? How does it happen? And so many of my own friends, and being there, and say day after day, dead. Hundreds of people dead. Even if you were healthy, every 2 months they made a selection on where you were sleeping in the barrack. They told you to get undressed naked, go outside, even if it was 15 below zero. You go outside, and the German came in, and he looked at your body. If something is wrong, he put your number. Tomorrow morning, the truck came, it takes you to the gas chamber.
Wow.
So you were never. I was skinny, so he told me to run. I was running, and I came back, and I stand up like a soldier. He said, "Okay, go in the line." But then a lot of people, they had something on the foot, infection or something, right away to the gas chamber. So no matter where you are, if you were working and you couldn't work a whole day without a stop, they kill you. You went home, you got sick of something, then you're dead. It was unbelievable circumstances which you had to go through day after day, nearly 3 years. I don't know how I made. I'm sitting here in the front of you, and I'll tell you the truth. I don't know. I really don't know. From so many friends that I'm here, and I can tell you the story. It's amazing.
What is the message you want people to learn that you share your story with?
What did you say?
Do you want to leave a message for why you're sharing your story? What's the message?
My message is to the human beings to be kind to each other. It doesn't matter your race. If you are Jewish or Polish or Indian, it doesn't matter. Respect each other and try to help each other, not to be like Hitler was. He took the race of Jews and he wiped them out. That's I would like to see. My message is the same: to be nice, responsible, help each other. That is my message to the people of this world.
And during commercial break, we were talking about when you left Poland, you went back to Czechoslovakia, you said.
I went back to Czechoslovakia, and I was staying there for like quite a few months, about 8 months, and I find out that the Americans are in Germany. So I went from Czechoslovakia to Germany. Germany gave me it was not the same Germany. The Nazis were, no matter where you go in Germany, I was in Munich. In Munich, I asked German, do you know something about the Holocaust? Oh, my best friend was the doctor, Jewish. And so I said, where is the doctor? Do you know? He said, no, but he was my best friend. I said, your best friend is where? In the crematorium? They denied everything, but they denied.
Do you think they didn't know?
Every Germany, in Munich. I was in Munich for nearly 2 years. Wow. Wherever I go, I ask the question, where is your friend? Where is the doctor? Where is the dentist? All my Jews, all my friends were Jewish. So where are they? They denied everything. They denied. So what could they do? But the American people were there, the soldiers. I was good. I had food, I had clothes, everything. So I stayed there 2 years.
But you said the people of Czechoslovakia were wonderful.
Oh, the people, before I went to Germany, I went to Czechoslovakia. The people in Czechoslovakia, terrific. Checking doctors, nurses, watching every move, what they could do for the Holocaust survivors. They did it. Like I said, it took me 6 weeks. They watched me in the hospital. They did everything they had to do. As soon as I was able to walk, my first trip is to go home. And that's what I did. I went home. Because you see how the mind works. What I saw, I still didn't want to believe that nobody from my family is alive. So why did I go to my town? I go to my town, I said, maybe somebody survived. I asked the Polish people, but nothing, there was nothing. And that's the time when I find those pictures, which I want to show it to you.
We're going to bring you back and show the pictures. And now, what you were just documenting last week through the Shoah Foundation, can you give us some information on what that was like and what this is going to be going forward?
What you said?
Can I explain it?
Please.
Okay, because it basically it's being sponsored by the Shoah Foundation. What they're doing is they're interviewing there may be a total of 100 survivors over the whole country. In South Florida, they pick 2. So what they do is for a whole week, they film the survivor, and they ask the Holocaust survivor, and in this case was my dad, a total of about 1,000 to 2,000 questions. They're going to convert these images into a hologram and sync it with artificial intelligence similar to Alexa. So the hologram will be sitting pretty much like where you are right now on a stage, and let's say it was some students from a school want to come and they want to learn about the Holocaust. They'll be able to ask a question, and the artificial intelligence will recognize that question, and the hologram, my dad, will answer it as if it was live, even 50 years from now.
And this is through Steven Spielberg created
Spielberg's
this
Hashoah Foundation,
technology.
yes. It's remarkable, remarkable.
That is unbelievable. Have you seen the sample of it?
60 Minutes did a whole episode on it.
Wow.
If you go to 60 Minutes and look for hologram Hashoah or Holocaust hologram, you'll find the episode where they talk about it.
5 days.
5 days.
5 days without a stop.
And this is in Dania, so it's right in our own backyard to be able to see this.
It's not done yet. I think it'll be done in about 3 or 4 months. And then they're also going to create like 2 little amphitheaters, small theaters, where you're going to be able to sit and the hologram will be on stage. So it's going to be a whole, process.
So important to document everything that you are doing. And you speak to kids in schools, and you're very involved with sharing the information.
That's what I'm doing. Every time I have an opportunity, I'm going to speak the 31st in the convention center. We're going to have about 800 students. I'm going to speak there. In April, we have another one. This is my responsibility when I'm living. I have to tell everybody what you want to listen. The story of our people, of our Jewish people, in my survival. And most of the people like to hear. Some people cannot believe, and they said, this is not normal, and I don't know what I'm talking about. And I don't blame them, because, it's very hard to understand this punishment, this kind of life, every day, to go through for nearly 3 years and survive. It's amazing, and I don't want to believe, especially young people. And I'm showing them, some people, students, want to kiss my number. They do kiss my number. I show them what's happened. But some students think that this is just a fantasy. They don't want to believe that.
I think it's also important.
I don't blame them.
Statistically, and don't quote me on this, but I know they've done some polling of high school students. And I think it's close to like 40% have never heard of the Holocaust. They know nothing. So, it's so important that this word gets, maybe they study it in history class. I don't even know if they do that anymore. Some states it's not required. Florida, it is required. Like there's certain states, Holocaust education is required. But it's not universal, and it's so important that the message gets out so these kids at least know what happened and not to have it repeat like it is today.
They have to understand to the degree, not even that it just happened, but the stories like your father and the other ones, people who lived through it, not just historians that have shown the documentation that we're so blessed to see, but to hear your story and what the Hashoah Foundation is doing. So it commemorates in perpetuity your stories and the education that you lived through these atrocities, how man can do this to mankind. Which brings me to my next question. People say, how can there be a God to kill 6 million Jews, to kill millions and millions of people? How do you still hold your faith in God?
When I was liberated, I met some rabbis which survived in Czechoslovakia, and I went over to him and I said, Rabbi, why? You know what his answer was? My child, I don't know. So I met a priest. And I went to ask the same question. He said, my child, same thing. I cannot answer. I don't know. That was the answer. Myself, before I went in to the camp. I was very pious, and I was a religious boy. I didn't eat nothing, not kosher, till the time was take me into the camp. And today even, I will still believe there's something there. There is a God, and I still believe. And I'm still in the morning getting up, and I still pray, make my prayers, and I pray to God, and I still believe. Mind you, I don't have the more pious, but I do believe. And some people tell me you're crazy, and I don't blame them too. How could God see so many 6 million people getting killed for no reason at all? It's his children. It's his children. He called them mine. It's my children. So why did you let them go to the gas chamber? There's no answer for that either.
Yeah.
There's no answer.
Well, then there were those that
Nobody
say
can answer that.
man did this to man. God did not do this. But
No, nobody can answer.
you being here is proof of God and a higher power. What a blessing for us to be able to have them here.
It is. And, you know, it's funny because there is no answer. A human being cannot give you an answer to what you've been through. No human can, because no human can even endure the thought of what you've lived through.
True.
And I look at you at 96 years of age, God bless, I gotta tell you, you look like you're in your 50s, man. I mean, and then what you've been through, what your body and your mind has been through, there is a God, because I see proof of it. It's you.
I believe. I do believe still. Some people tell me, you're cuckoo, you're crazy. I said, when I was liberated, I did not believe. Because right what in the front of me was always dead bodies, dead, crematorium. So I didn't believe. But after that, when I was married and I had children, I had to make bar mitzvah and then be the Jew what I wanted to be. And I went back to the normal thing as a Jew, what my grandpa, my dad teach me. And I'm still today. I'm respectful to God. I give my praise to God. I go Shabbat to the shul, and I'm still a Jew, which my dad, my grandpa teach me.
What's it like for you, Sam, to hear this? I know you grew up with these stories, but such a blessing to see all of this documentation for your dad. This is your life, your legacy.
Again, I think it's wonderful that he's, you know, unfortunately there are a lot of survivors, and I've known have some friends whose parents are survivors that have never talked about it. It was just too traumatic. And so you have those two camps where you have some of the survivors that are willing to talk, and some just can't. My dad's brother would never talk about it. Never. I asked him a couple times. He says, I don't want to talk about it. So I'm happy that I can facilitate this again. I'm so happy that he can do this. It is a legacy to my daughter and grandchildren, future grandchildren, and generations to come. And again, it's important that we're doing this.
When you look at your daughter and the next generation, because it is up to their generation to continue this information, how old is she?
She's 19.
So what does she feel when people say things to her or she's seeing atrocities happen again? She's lived this with Grandpa.
I really, you know, I don't think she's in college and just having a good time. I don't think she's really experienced that yet. She knows a lot about the stories. I think as she watches more of what my dad has done, she doesn't know everything. She knows my dad's a survivor. But, you know, again, this is important for her. She'll learn from these videos, these interviews, and this the hologram thing that the Shoah Foundation's doing.
I think they want to switch his mic. I wanted to ask him, when you meet people, I mean, you see what your dad's gone through. When you meet people who say, that never happened, or he's crazy, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feeling very bad inside. But you know, outside I do understand, because this, what I went through, it's unbelievable that a normal human being can go for nearly 3 years sleeping in a bunk with 4 people and having this kind of food and this, the same suit, which I took, they give it to me when I came in. I was liberated in the same suit for 3 years. Now, how can you live with a shirt, the same shirt, and never change? Dirt, filth all over, and work so hard. So I don't blame the people which they don't believe. I don't. But I know what I did.
And I want to ask you, son, how do you feel when you hear these
You know, I think it's like anything else. To even dignify it with an answer is almost getting down to the level of stupidity. I mean, how do you answer when somebody tells you, you know, the sky is green? I equate that with the, like, how do you even answer that? It's stupid. It's just a dumb question. And so I don't even, why even justify it? Why even have to explain to somebody who's that ignorant that says, oh, the pictures were doctored? There's a big conspiracy theory, you know, conspiracy to all these survivors are making up stories.
It's insulting.
I mean, it's stupid. It's insulting.
It's insulting.
So
it's
just ignorance. You know, how do you even address it?
Which is
So I
why
don't even
we
bother.
have to share this information and continue to educate and get it out there. For those that are ignorant or do not know, what do they say? Forgive them for they do not know.
Right.
Well, it is up to us to provide the information to say, you know what, you can know and you can learn. And if you don't watch our show, you can see it through the Hashoah Foundation. You can see it through the Holocaust Memorial Museums. It's there. Just reach out and look for the information and see the atrocities that man has done to man, and that God does survive and lives through you and all of the children and all of the survivors that are here to tell the story. So thank you so much for sharing the story. Wow, powerful.
Powerful stuff, good stuff. And we have more good stuff coming on the other side of the break. We're going to say goodbye to our radio friends as it is now. Powerful stuff you guys did today.
We're going to bring them up back again because Morris has pictures
Yeah, I
that
have
we're going to document.
pictures from the crematorium, the gas chamber, from everything.
So
How I was sleeping with people together, 4 people, 5 people in one row. When we had to turn, all of us had to turn. I couldn't turn by myself because I had 5 or 4 people in the little bunk.
We're going to bring you back. We're going to
Hold
document
us.
it because it is up to us to continue to share. Thank you so much for listening and for joining us live on WWNN. This wraps up our brunch hour, but we will still continue to stream and to air. Stay tuned on our local streaming channels. Have a beautiful day, everyone.
We'll be right back. Don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that wraps up our brunch hour. But don't go away. Stay tuned for more laughs and cheers on Facebook or YouTube or any other social media platform at the Brooklyn Cafe TV. See you soon.
Sleepless nights, I wait for you to bring me back to life. In my electric eyes, it doesn't mean that time can thicken every single breath. I want to unfreeze my heart and fly away. That's why I wanna save her. Your moons and craters. Open up my eyes, waterfalls of ice, sweeping me away like an avalanche. Helpless but words can't say it all. Sweeping me away like an avalanche, like an avalanche. I listen for a sound, waiting deep inside my maze of sweeping thrills and colors. Just a ray of light, bathing me in drops of ink that glaze across my body. Wish you could unfreeze my heart and we could fly away. That's why I wanna save her. Your moons and craters. Open up my eyes, waterfalls arise, sweeping me away like an avalanche. Helpless as I fall, but words can't say it all. Sweeping me away like an avalanche, like an avalanche. Crashing walls and waterfalls and crystal balls can see. Open up my eyes, waterfalls of ice, sweeping me away like an avalanche. Helpless as I fall, but words can't say it all. Take my breath away like an avalanche, like an avalanche, like an avalanche, like an avalanche, sweeping me away like an
Thorns placed on his head, he knew that he would soon be dead. He said, "Did you forget me, Father? Did you?" They nailed him to a wooden cross. Soon all the world would feel the loss of Christ the King before his hallelujah. 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 He hung his head and prepared to die, then lifted his face up to the sky, said, "I am coming home now, Father, to you." A reed which held his final sip was gently lifted to his lips. He drank his last and gave his soul to glory. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. soldier who had used his sword to pierce the body of our Lord said, truly this was Jesus Christ, our Savior. He looked with fear upon his sword, then turned to face his Christ and Lord, fell to his knees, crying, Hallelujah, 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 Hallelujah. Took from his head the thorny crown and wrapped him in a linen gown, then laid him down to rest inside the tomb. The holes in his hands, his feet and side, now in our hearts we know he died to save us from ourselves. Oh, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. 3 days went by, again they came to move the stone, to bless the slain with oil and spice, anointing, hallelujah. But as they went to move the stone, they saw that they were not alone, for Jesus Christ has risen, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
I figure we play that because you got everybody in here crying already, so why not just take everybody over the top?
What did you think about that interview?
It moves me, it disturbs me all at the same time. The part about people just not accepting it or they're in denying of it, it's like watching what's unfolding now and saying that ain't happening either.
Yep.
And that makes me angry. And to see that he survived and to see the shape this man is in after what he's been put through is amazing. I'm just amazed by that. And that he wants to teach young people is a message that I've carried all my life. If you don't know, learn. But to deny that whole thing, man, I mean, he said it best. You don't even dignify it with an answer. But if you don't dignify it with an answer, then those that refuse to learn will never learn.
Well, they're still going to refuse to learn, so it is up to us.
So you keep doing it.
To keep doing it, to keep sharing the information, to keep putting the information out, to keep doing what we do.
I mean, those camps, those chambers are still there.
And to hope the masses that do believe will spread the light and share the information for those that do not.
It's just, like I said, it's heartwarming to hear him speak. It breaks my heart. It makes me angry. There's a lot of emotion that went through me when he was talking.
He can't wait to come back.
And you know what? I want to build something with him. I mean, I know what they're doing for him down there, but I want to maybe do seminars and have kids come in here and learn.
He is speaking, I believe, at the Broward County Convention Center, Morris Dan, on March 31st to 800 students from Broward and Dade counties to share his story. And that he is willing and gracious enough to share his information, and the schools are educating their students. We may not love everything in our great state of Florida, but this is one of the opportunities that they do mandate Holocaust information and Holocaust studies here in Florida.
Well, I think that as a world, we should all learn from that disaster. And, you know, you look at people saying, you know, you want to help people in the Ukraine, sending food and supplies and getting people out of it in the whole 9 yards. And then you have the other side where now they've taken the offensive, the Ukrainians, and they're fighting back. They're not going to sit there and wait for the enemy to come. They're going in a different direction, which puts the madman in a real difficult position because he's not winning this battle. It's at a standstill with all of his stuff. And it's scary.
It's incredibly scary, and the atrocities that I mean, you grew up, you saw, we'd always see pictures, right? And we've got Yom HaShoah, which is Holocaust Remembrance Day, coming up in a month. You see the pictures, you can't believe it, but to hear the stories of how he lived in the same clothes for 3 years, the same outfit, the same underwear, a piece of bread, 4 people in
and
a bunk.
He didn't kill himself. Some voice said, no, you got to go back.
We talked about that voice yesterday, right?
Yeah.
We talked about the inner voice. Do you listen to that voice or do you override it? And thank God that he listened to that voice and he didn't hold those electrical wires.
And it's funny, when I was in Popham Avenue, Mrs. Freeman, may she rest in peace, introduced me to all of the Holocaust survivors. There must have been 20 of them in my building. And they all sat in the front taking sun. And I didn't know what those numbers meant. I had no idea. And I was young. I was 7, 8 years old, 9. And I used to ask my mom, and she didn't know. She didn't understand that. She says she thought it was some kind of club. She had no idea. So I, of course, being me, I spoke to Mrs. Freeman, and she introduced me to everybody. And they gave me a marble. Did I ever tell you this?
No.
Each person gave me a marble. Wonder where that bag of marbles is. And they gave it to me to hold on to their story. You remember when I told you that I had Gio rub something so he would stop talking in school? This is where I got it from. So they gave me a marble, another marble, another marble, and Mrs. Freeman gave me this little sachet bag, and I put the marbles in there. And she said, I want you to hold this for the rest of your life and never forget what those people that gave you the marble told you. And there were stories, man. They talked about, I mean, I was young. I was like in awe. And they tried to be gentle, I guess, telling me they didn't have food. They were beaten. They were, you know, she kept it that way. Not like him. He told us the truth about what was going on. Bones made into tar. I mean, I never even heard that.
Stories you don't hear, right?
I heard that they had taken skin off the Jews to make lamps. I heard that story. But now it comes to me, and I'm sitting here and I'm looking at him, and all those memories are coming forward. And those little marbles, I'll never forget the marbles in the bag. And I had it for the longest time because I never really understood what it meant. And now today, I get it. You got to hold on to that marble.
To the stories that live on. But what an incredible honor it was to be able to interview him. We've got Miss Senior Florida joining us in just a few moments, and her director, Rose Titus. We've got a lot of things happening still here at the cafe. Our crew, they were just amazed as they got to listen to the story, so much that I think sometimes you get mesmerized. You lose focus on what it is that you're doing to hear the story.
Well, it happens. It happens in prose, it happens here, it happens in the show, it happens everywhere. Sometimes you run across something that just shocks you. And you can't, you know, the part about people not believing, didn't we read something that people didn't believe about the shootings either in New York?
There are people that deny a whole lot of things. And like his son said, what do you do? How do you dignify that with an answer when you're sitting next to a human being that went through this? How do you say that to a parent who lost a child in one of these shootings that some of these deniers are denying? How do you even justify that with a comment or an answer?
Well, how do you
can't.
say the words "it never happened"? I mean, how do you even get away with that? You know, I have met people in my day who say, "Oh yeah, the Jews are always complaining. And I look at them and I said, and what are they complaining that is so not true? Well, you know, we heard the story, stop complaining, stop. That was back then. It's like, it's back then. You know, it's in the back of the store, don't worry about it, it doesn't come to the front. And they don't talk about what comes to the front as a people, as to how we treat other people, how we treat one another. That he is not resentful is God's work in my eyes. Because, Mom, I'm going to tell you something. I would be resentful. I would be a little angry.
You heard what he said. His message is to spread kindness of humanity and how wonderful the people of Czechoslovakia were and how people are people. Now, this is from a Holocaust survivor who knows that Hitler regime Nazism got blamed. All of the German people got blamed for that. Again, he's holding no remorse, nothing like that, or no blame, saying Germany was not the same once Hitler and his regime left. For they were not educated either. They did not know the atrocities that were happening. Much of what, same thing we're going through right now, Russia does not know, some of the people, what the government is taking over control in the rest of the Ukraine.
And you see the lines are beginning to form in Russia. There's a lack of stuff going on right now in Russia, and the Russian citizens are being told it's our fault. It is, we are doing this to them. It isn't about Putin doing what he's doing. The sanctions are all, this is all made by the U.S. and the Western allies. And the problem we're having right now is that that's the same venom that was fed to the people in Germany. The same venom. So you're going to run into a country that is drinking nothing but poison. And you're going to try to reason with poison that does not work. That's why this man has to be eliminated. The situation has to be eliminated. And I think Musk is the best. He's challenged Putin to a fist fight. But if we can drop like this message, all of a sudden we got 100 people now watching this show.
Bree has it.
What's wrong?
We can absolutely do that.
Let's do that.
We're going to do that. Try and find Miss Senior Florida and her director. So stay tuned. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Give us a call, 888-994-4995.
Studio A.
And we'll be right back.
Artist Rosie Sherman paints her passions to share with everyone. Expressing herself through bold and vibrant colors, her suggestion and style are always in flux. Inspired by travels, nature, romance, and the human spirit, Rosie makes sure her depiction of women are strong and proud. Her landscapes illustrate the changing seasons in the diverse world that we live in. To find her artwork in the multiple medias you can purchase, visit rosiesherman.pixels.com.
Once a professional musician, artist Steven Zwirn uses his creativity through multimedia artistic expression. His compositions use acrylic paint to create 3D masterpieces. Steven's fascination with brilliant colors and intriguing patterns with jewels and rhinestones entices the eye with color and dimension. For more information on the artwork of Steven Zwirn, contact Steven at 914-656-9060 or StevensWirn.com.
Welcome to Sunshine Senior Solutions, a trusted medical supply company that puts patients first, offering quality home medical equipment and supplies. Sunshine Senior Solutions is here to help simplify the lives of patients, caregivers, and their families. From canes and crutches to diabetic glucose monitors, your health, safety, and comfort is our #1 priority. Call or visit our website, Sunshine Senior Solutions, bringing the heart back to healthcare.
Welcome to AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios. Call us today at 866-224-5422, for no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let Ant2 TV help get you there.
Welcome to Lost Harbor Spirits, a world where pirates inspire our spirits, treasures remain undiscovered, and flavors are infused with the essence of mysterious voyages. The distillery became one of the few women-owned craft spirits production sites in the U.S. From our award-winning spirits of vodka and rum to delicious gin, we're always coming up with some new and exciting flavors to keep your cocktails delicious and fresh. Proudly distilling out of West Palm Beach, Florida, Lost Harbor Spirits is a true treasure waiting to be discovered. Contact Palm Beach Distillery at lostharborspirits.com to take a tour or purchase your favorite spirit at your local liquor store.
This portion of today's show is brought to you by the Brooklyn Cafe Show Coffee, made with organic Arabica beans.
With enough butter, anything is good. Tori Wells from Precious Treasure Gourmet Foods thinks so, because she single-handedly updated and expanded butter's possibilities. From compound, savory, sweet, and spicy, her freshly made butters aim to please. I don't know about you, but I've never really seen butter this versatile before, and now so feasible. With online shopping, just visit PreciousTreasuresGourmetFoods.com, because at Precious Treasures, Tori is working on the best artisan gourmet foods to every table. Remember, guys, true love is like butter. There's no substitute for the real thing.
Attention Florida residents. Is constant water damage from the elements putting holes in your pipes and your wallet? We cut the cost when disaster strikes. You deserve to have your house be a home again. At Triumph, we get you paid the most for your insurance claims. Broken pipes, water damage, and mold? Triumph Consulting covers it all. Call our offices now to qualify for a free house inspection at 954-669-4935 or visit www.wegetYouPaid.com.
Born in Marseille, France, Max Lazega creates whimsical and free-flowing interpretive art. His 40 years in the construction industry created the foundation for his craft. His unique work displays his view of the future with bold and playful combinations of materials and processes, but the methodology remains consistent. He fuses recycled materials and discarded building supplies into a fresh, well-executed approach. Lazega has lived in Miami, Florida most of his life, where he pursues his lifelong passion of creating industrial art. For more information, contact Max Lazega at artworkstudios.org or 786-326-8873.
Meet Jay Harmon, one of the many artists held in the Brooklyn Cafe Gallery. Jay specializes in various different art styles, but his medium to work with is colored pencils. His unique style comes from being self-taught and years of practice. Jay pulls his inspiration from many outlets like people, television, celebrities, and many more. With multiple original pieces, Jay's art graces the gallery with over 40+ works for viewing and for purchase. His many years of being an artist has given him a chance to partner with the Derwent brand, giving him the opportunity to try many different work styles and further his craft. Feel free to come down and visit the studio to view his work, or if you're interested in your own Jay Harmon original, he's open to commissions on his website, coloredpencilartist.com, or catch his show, The Colored Pencil Artist, on Amp Media Productions on YouTube and Facebook. See you soon.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back.
And we're back. Look who we got on set. We got Bree and Mom on the set.
Hello.
Hey guys, who's ever on board, can we give them some more game, please? How you ladies doing?
Good.
Good. Mom has been here with us since bright and early this morning. She brought her jewelry for you because you were looking for a new bracelet.
Yes. And here it is.
It's nice. It's made out of black lava rock.
Yes, it is. I feel like a volcano.
Feel better?
It comes from a volcano. It sort of vibrates my hand.
It was so funny because yours broke last week, and you said, I need new ones. And Bree's like, oh, my mom makes them.
Yeah, I was like, Mom, you have to come. She's like, no, I can't come today. I was like, okay, when can you come?
Is this what you do for a living? Do you make bracelets and jewelry?
Yes.
How long have you been doing this?
5 years.
Wow.
Yeah. She was working at Publix and she was making jewelry.
Yeah.
And now are you still working at Publix?
No, I retired.
Good for you.
I retired.
What was it, 23 years?
26 years.
21.
Wow.
Yeah.
For Publix?
Yes.
I didn't know Publix was 26 years old.
It was broke.
Yeah, it's old.
Wow.
And now you're making jewelry, which is amazing. And everything's on Instagram?
Yes.
Instagram, and
And
she's on TikTok. She has Facebook. So she's all out. She's there.
How do you find it? What do you have to look for?
Lifestyle jewelry. And it's like a little African American icon. And yeah. That's how you
And
find
she's
her.
wearing earrings that are an ankh, and you're very Egypt oriented as
Oh,
well.
yeah. She makes all my jewelry for me.
So which came first, Mom loving Egypt artifacts or you?
Me.
Okay.
Me.
What fascinates you so much about that?
I just love
Spelled my name wrong.
I just love the ankhs and everything.
That was the piece that you liked, was the ankh.
Very nice.
Yes.
She has a certain mystique. Now I know what the door to get her from. I was just talking about that.
She's a bit nervous.
Yes,
right
I
now.
am. I am.
Why? This is just like Publix.
Yeah, she's very
Yeah, we're just like Publix. I give you half a pound
I
of
get
turkey
nervous when
breast.
I go to Publix. I start talking to the register people.
You get nervous waiting in line at the deli counter, right?
Oh, I have a Publix store. You want to hear my Publix story?
Oh, God.
So we go to Publix to get supplies.
Mhm.
And Dawn does not use a cart.
I try not to.
So can you imagine 27 items and she's carrying all of them?
Clean up on aisle 10. There's spaghetti sauce.
She's
Oh, it's
using her
bad.
foot, rolling things down the aisle. She doesn't believe in carts.
Why you don't like carts?
I don't mind them, and then COVID came, and then I don't like touching things that other people touch.
Okay.
So I stopped using carts, and I would go in for a few things. Clean up on aisle 10. And now he comes with me and says, we will be taking a cart today.
And I clean it because
Yeah, you can wipe
Publix
it
has
and
to
then-
wipe
Yes,
it.
now I have to wipe them down, but I never intend to be, I think it's going to reduce what I buy if I don't take a cart. But it does not.
But you see the buy one get one like free deals, and you just want to put
Oh,
more.
no, no.
Exactly.
We don't get that because obviously she can't carry buy
Two
one,
big
get
things
two
of
other things.
paper
free.
towels.
So she rolls them down with her feet.
With the little basket.
It's like I put something under my arm and then between your fingers, and if it's glass, it's problematic. If it's not, we got a better shot.
I couldn't believe it, so I went and I wanted to see. Okay, and I had a list.
I like all this.
She got
all
to
that.
by 11. Actually,
Pretty
holding
good,
on
right?
to stuff was pretty good. I said,
We should do a show. How many things can you shop in Publix for without
we
a cart?
should see who can be the champion of that. Like who can hold the most. We'll have a contest.
I know, it's crazy. How do you like what Bree's doing here?
Oh, I love it. I love it. She wanted to do this a long time ago. I love it.
She's really great at what she does. Now, Bree, this morning, we didn't tell Freddie that there was a 10 o'clock show this morning.
Oh, I thought I mentioned it.
You
know,
might,
last
you did
week.
last week, but that doesn't mean Freddie heard that. That was last week. That was
Sorry.
not today.
I didn't hear that.
So at 9:04, when I got the text from Amy, are we still on for 10? And I said, yeah, we're on. And I texted you, and you went, I'll be there in 20 minutes. And I went, okay, here we go. We're going to be on a
I
ride.
usually like set 3 alarms, 7, 8, 9. 7, 8 did not go off. 9 did.
Those are called snooze.
Yeah, yeah.
My mom was blowing up my phone. She's
I
like, I'm
called her at
supposed to
7
be here.
and she did not pick up. I called her at 8. She did not pick up. I
Well,
kept
no,
calling her and calling her.
Well, I
calls
mean,
me a
it's no
lot.
big deal. I had to gather stuff to send over to put it on there. And, I
We
mean,
took
it's
care of
no
it,
big
and it was a
deal.
really good show. They were very
Yeah,
happy
she
with
really
it.
enjoyed it. I'm going to be working on the intro and outro. I have like a kind of where I'm going to go with it. Now I see how her intro was. So I'm happy that I used that one instead of the one that I made, because now I know what she likes and what Amy and Rosie like. So it's a good thing.
It's going to be a great show. They're
Oh,
going to
yeah.
be in on April 8th. They're just going to meet here. and they're going to talk and kind of gather their thoughts to go forward.
And it's funny because their artwork is here. It's up there, it's everywhere. And they have two different styles.
Yeah, two different styles. One's light. I'm not gonna say Amy's kind of dark, but like she uses darker tones of colors, and it's a good like battle of colors. So.
Right. Oh my goodness! Look, we've got Miss Senior Florida in the house. She's going to give Miss South Florida Fair a run for her money in there, because she's in sash and crown.
This is so funny. This is great. All right, so she
You
doesn't
gotta
go to
love
the
this.
bathroom. Well, it's nice having you here because we like to show off, to show you where your hard-earned money goes when they go to school, and they come in, and we don't call them interns because when I was working for Charlie Rangel, I wasn't an intern. I was a professional, just like they are. And that's the way we view them. Interns go get coffee. Here, we bring them coffee. It's the difference. But I'm glad that you got to see her. I mean, she's been a little busy today.
I know.
But this is what we do all day long. And this goes on, what's the day? Wednesday till 8 o'clock. It goes from here to the radio station. And then we start all over again tomorrow. But this is what the nature of the beast is. And she's talented. She's a very talented individual.
Hardworking, yep.
She's relentless.
Thank you.
I got to tell you a secret. I spoke to your daughter when she called to sign up, and she scared me.
She did.
She intimidated me because she was like, "You're gonna have to call me back because I'm in the middle of doing something in class." Oh, excuse me. Okay, I call back. Then she called back, and I said, "Everything all right? Everything's fine. Why would you ask me?" Like, hello, like. So I said to Dawn, I said, when this one comes in, watch it. She's a little snippy. But she ends up being,
Oh my God.
she ends up being a sweetheart. And she knows what she wants.
Yeah.
And she's going to tell you when you do something wrong. You know?
Yep.
It's like Haitian man. Tells him straight up.
She tells him straight up what is going on.
Yep.
Tells
We
him
love
straight.
that.
And this is a good thing because in this business, you got to be straight. You got to know what you're thinking to be able to do what you're going to be doing. So thank you for coming and showing, letting us show off to you. We're very proud to have your daughter as part of the crew.
She's fantastic.
Thank you.
And now you're part of the crew. And
Thank you.
And I have this to prove it.
Thank you.
And you know,
She's
you're
gonna
always
be
welcome.
leaving a couple pieces with me, so
Oh, fantastic.
display them around. I don't know where you guys want to keep them, but she said just
we'll
leave the
create
whole
something.
thing. I was like, no, Mom.
We'll create something, absolutely.
you.
Absolutely. So just hang tight with us because we've got another half hour and then we get to go shopping. I love that. Today's National Puppy Day. We've got our next guest in studio. Mom, stay, enjoy. Bree will get you coffee, water, whatever you need. Nice job today on the show, Bree.
Thank
New
you, thank
pieces
you.
coming out.
Yes.
That was fantastic. Alana, we got Miss Senior Florida.
Why don't we
in
take
the
a
house.
commercial so we can sit her down?
She's in the
Oh, in the
restroom.
restroom?
We're
Okay.
going to bring Rose over. Rose Titus is the CEO and founder of this program, and I'm fascinated because, you know, we've got Miss South Florida Fair in our midst who is running for
I'm
Miss
not
Florida.
allowed to talk about that.
Because you always come up with the wrong name.
No, it's not that. It's that odds are now have gone up.
That she wins?
Just one. So, but I'm not allowed to say that.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, a quick transition. Thank our sponsors. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Artist Rosie Sherman paints her passions to share with everyone. Expressing herself through bold and vibrant colors, her suggestion and style are always in flux. Inspired by travels, nature, romance, and the human spirit, Rosie makes sure her depiction of women are strong and proud. Her landscapes illustrate the changing seasons in the diverse world that we live in. To find her artwork in the multiple medias you can purchase, visit rosiesherman.pixels.com.
Once a professional musician, artist Steven Zwirn uses his creativity through multimedia artistic expression. His compositions use acrylic paint to create 3D masterpieces. Steven's fascination with brilliant colors and intriguing patterns with jewels and rhinestones entices the eye with color and dimension. For more information on the artwork of Steven Zwirn, contact Steven at 914-656-9060 or stevenzwirn.com.
Welcome to Sunshine Senior Solutions, a trusted medical supply company that puts patients first, offering quality home medical equipment and supplies. Sunshine Senior Solutions is here to help simplify the lives of patients, caregivers, and their families. From canes and crutches to diabetic glucose monitors, your health, safety, and comfort is our #1 priority. Call or visit our website, Sunshine Senior Solutions, bringing the heart back to healthcare.
Welcome to AMP2 TV, the first and only internet production company that's truly plugged in. When you're looking for a full-service internet radio, TV production company, discover AMP2 TV. AMP2 TV is a full-service media company that can provide all streaming videos, video studios, radio studios, and television studios. Call us today at 866-224-5422, for no business is too small to grow to be accounted. It's time for your message to be seen. Let AMP2 TV help get you there.
Welcome to Lost Harbor Spirits, a world where pirates inspire our spirits, treasures remain undiscovered, and flavors are infused with the essence of mysterious voyages. The distillery became one of the few women-owned craft spirits production sites in the U.S. From our award-winning spirits of vodka and rum to delicious gin, we're always coming up with some new and exciting flavors to keep your cocktails delicious and fresh. Proudly distilling out of West Palm Beach, Florida, Lost Harbor Spirits is a true treasure waiting to be discovered. Contact Palm Beach Distillery at lostharborspirits.com to take a tour or purchase your favorite spirit at your local liquor store.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
And we're back at the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Welcome back. Happy, what's today, Wednesday? As we say, it's a wonderful Wednesday at the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Wow, what a lineup today we've had.
And they keep coming in.
This is so right up Alana's alley. Alana, I'm hoping you're enjoying this whole set because we scheduled this for you because Alana is our current reigning Miss South Florida Fair, and she is running for Miss Florida in June. So we're very excited. So when I booked with Rose, I said, we have to be here with Miss Senior Florida, with Adina, on a day that Alana's in our studio.
Alana, grab a microphone.
So she is loving this, which I'm so excited.
Where are you? Where's your microphone?
So here's what's so interesting. We met Rose through Joey of Coffee News.
Come here. Yes.
I'm letting that sink in for a moment.
Coffee News.
Coffee News. Joey met Rose at an event, the Eco Trail Trekker event that we were working with.
I remember that. He went to the event.
So I've been working with Rose and... Oh, you're going to co-host this with me, Alana?
I guess Freddie's asking me to.
No, I want you to enjoy this interview because, well, they'll find out who you are and everything else.
Hey, Dawn.
Hi, Alana. We've never done this before, so this is exciting.
I was going to say, you know what? I think there's been one time where I substituted for you in this seat.
Right.
We haven't been on set together.
I know, so this is very exciting for all of us. So I'm reading Rose, your who's who of South Florida, Rose Titus, not only one of the previous Miss Senior Florida, you are city commissioner of the city of Opa-locka, vice mayor, the commissioner they call you, working with social recreation educational skills at high-risk kids, CEO of a greeting card company right, Trump cards for Christian faith, and now you are the president, CEO of Miss Senior Florida. I'm telling you, you are the who's who of South Florida.
I was not city clerk. I was the first African-American.
We just got to have you hold your mic. And the first African-American city clerk. So before we get into Miss Senior Florida, you have to give us some information about you. How did all of this come? I mean, you are spectacular. Back in the day where there were not a lot of African-American women in places of high political aspirations and importance, not in Florida yet.
And that's where I make history as being the first African-American city clerk in the state of Florida. Other than, there is a black city, I can't remember, Edenville. Edenville, is a historically black city in Florida. I would imagine that they had a black city clerk. But other than that, I am the first African American city clerk in all of.
Oh, are we taping now?
No, we're live.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's great. The first African American city clerk. What year was that?
1976 to 1984.
What was that like for you to say, "Here I am. I'm going to do this"?
And I have no public administration experience or education when I was put in that position. I had no idea, I had no aspirations of being in public administration. I had an entertainment background, and I had auditioned for a job in New York, a chorus line job in New York that was rehearsing here in Florida. So that's how I got to Miami. And after that particular job was ended is when I landed the, well, to be perfectly honest of the fact, I came to know the Lord while I was here during that time, and I made a promise to him that I'm not going to do this anymore, but I didn't know what I was going to do. I felt a calling on my life, but I didn't know what I was going to do. So I was 9 months looking for other work other than what I enjoyed doing and what I was trained to do, which was to dance and to sing. And 9 months, couldn't get arrested. No kind of job, telemark, nothing. And then, long story short, a friend of mine gave me a business card and said, "Rose, if you're still looking for work, go and see these people. They are looking for someone like you." So it was the city of Opa-locka. I had never heard of Opa-locka, had never been to Opa-locka.
And you're not Hispanic.
And I'm not Hispanic.
So you're the perfect candidate.
Well, I got the job as the assistant city clerk, and 9 months later, now remind you, 9 months I had been looking for work on my own. 9 months later, I'm hired as the first African American city clerk in Opa-locka. And I've been here ever since, doing all of the other things that you have just mentioned.
And
But,
you're always
but
doing
able
that.
to utilize all of the gifts that I've always had, the gift of administration, the gift of dancing, the gift of singing. I've just enjoyed it.
You're a people person. City clerk has to be a people person.
Yes, has to be but you have to have some knowledge of public administration. I had none, but I learned. They did,
Well, this should be right up your alley, Miss Tap, producer and host over here, because not only is Rose a dancer, Miss Adina McGrath, who was the reigning Miss Senior Florida, she is a dancer.
Miss Adina, what kind of dance do you like to do? What kind of dance do you like to do?
Tap.
No
Jazz.
way.
Tap and jazz.
My favorite type of dance is also tap, and that is what I compete with as well as tap dancing.
Oh, really?
So I always love it.
Yeah.
It's really fun. But you were previously a Rockette, is that what I hear?
Yes.
Oh
yes,
my goodness.
Yes, yeah. For a short period of time, because I had 4 children and a husband, so I couldn't stay away. I had to get back to being at home with my children. But the tap dancing really started when I was about 5 years old. My mother put me into a little community recital, and that's when I started my dancing. And I did a little dance called I'm a Jointed Dolly, and that was, I thought that was it. I loved it. So that was kind of the beginning of where I enjoyed dancing, and then I learned to use that talent throughout the years. In high school we had a YDEB class, and we would dance and do all the jitterbugs and all those old-fashioned dances, that are still great.
Were you a big fan of Gregory Hines and Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers?
Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. Ginger Rogers, yes.
Some of the best. I think Eleanor Powell is also one of my favorites in there, too. I could watch videos of her dancing all day long.
Yes.
What was your favorite part about being a Rockette?
Being a Rockette. I think the unity of working with a group and learning how to each one move in their own way, but still in a very professional manner. And it was very, very encouraging. I enjoyed that very much, yeah.
I love. Here's her
You've
story.
seen the Rockettes before, right?
It's
I mean,
amazing.
talk about precise.
That
I went to New York City to see them.
did you?
I
To
saw
be
the
a Rockette is like the mecca, the be-all of dance, and your story is amazing. Can we say how young you are?
I'm 94.
She looks fantastic.
Right?
You know, we could see the glittering dress as she came out of her carriage as she walked into the studio today. And all the boys in the other studio, they were like, there she is. We needed music playing as you walked into our studios.
Oh, thank you.
And your story of, as I was reading your bio that Rose sent over, is that you danced, you stopped, you got married, you raised your children, and then your husband, I feel like this is like the gift of the Magi, gives you this beautiful gift of tap shoes. And you got to reemerge and blossom again.
Yes. So I danced with even my children. I had three of my children were in several of the recitals. This was in Miami, and this was many, many years ago. Gwen Mahler Dancers, I don't know if you know them, Dancing Mothers of Miami. We had when they would announce it, they would say, there's 32 children amongst all of us, you know. But we were the Dancing Mothers of Miami for many years. And then many times we worked on the SS Nassau out of Miami down into Nassau. And we were the entertainment on the evenings going down and the evenings coming back. That was very much an enjoyable thing. We did tap, we did jazz, some ballroom, but mostly tap and jazz. That's what we enjoyed, yeah.
Look at that crown.
I heard that the Rockettes, being a Rockette, wasn't easy. It was a lot of work. It was strenuous. And is it true that all the Rockettes were the same height?
That's true, but they tried to stage the ones
The
that
same
were
height. It was in the New York Times.
Yes.
And I bought
Yes.
tickets because I couldn't believe that you found women that were, and they were all the same height.
Do you want to know a little secret though?
Yeah, they used the shoes. I know.
No. So the secret between the lineup for the Rockettes is there is a range of height the girls have to be between this height and this height.
Right.
I'm too short. I believe we both are too short now to join.
Yes.
But they tend to put the tallest girl right in the center.
Yes.
And your shortest girls on the ends, and that gives the optical illusion that everyone is the same height, even though there's a little bit of variation.
Yes.
Interesting.
And and I read that, and I read that it was really tough work to stay a Rockette. That they turned them over a lot because it was a lot of work to practice all the time.
It's a lot of work, yes. A lot of work, but you enjoy it. It's enjoyable. I mean, if you have that in here, and you enjoy it, it doesn't matter how much you work out, how many times it takes you to do it. You enjoy it.
I have
It's
to tell
something
you,
that you
Rose,
want to share.
Rose and Adina, you are amazing. On the past hour, I wish you hadn't gotten lost. We had a 96-year-old Holocaust survivor in studio sharing his story and how he was liberated from Auschwitz. And I'll have to get you all together at another time, but so amazing to see how powerful education is and what you do going forward is. Miss Senior Florida, you created Miss Senior Florida. You were reigning in 2016.
Well, I didn't actually create it. I was a contestant in the 2016 pageant that was held in Vero Beach and had always been held in Vero Beach, from what I understand, for about 34 years. After I won and went to Atlantic City to represent the state of Florida, I received an email, which I'm sure they sent to all of the former contestants and to the sponsors. And the owners at that particular time said that they had been 20 years, the directors in Arizona, and 10 years or so here in Florida. And they didn't want to do it anymore. They were getting older, and there were other things that they wanted to do. And if anyone was interested in taking over the pageant, to give them a call. So I said to my friend Roxy, you know what? I'm going to go for it. And so I met with them, and here I am today, 5 years. This will be my 5th year as the director. The first thing that I did was take it from being a profit to making it a nonprofit. There's so many other, I'm so used to working with nonprofits, and there's so many other services that we wanted to do. And then community awareness, because nobody had heard of Miss Senior Florida Pageant, and it had been here for 34 years, but was being held in Vero Beach, and they just didn't reach out the way I believe they should have. And
how did you find Miss Adina? Or Adina, how did you find Rose?
Yeah, that's
with my talent, I started producing and directing what we call Miss Senior, wrong one, Snappy Senior Fun Follies at the YMCA. And it was all ages 60 and older, all seniors. And our motto was, we never retire, we refire. And we never sit on our talent. We always use our talent. So I was always encouraging all the seniors. Too many of them say, well, I used to do that. I said, no. You have a talent. You need to use it. You must use it. So I would try to encourage them to do that. So we would have rehearsals before the theater. Let's see. We would rehearse about 4 months. So during one of the rehearsals, I think your friend Roxy saw the announcement that we were making, that we were doing a casting call for Snappy Senior. And she brought Rose. So Rose was in one of my shows. You sang, and I think you danced a little bit. And then that was the beginning. So then when Rose entered into the Miss Senior Florida pageant, she contacted me and said, will you be in Miss Senior Florida pageant? So I said, yes. So that's how we got together.
And would you mind sharing a little bit about the competition? What kinds of things do you have to participate in order to compete in Miss Senior Florida? What would be the components of the process?
Well, I believe it's your what you feel about life, about not only being beautiful on the outside, but most important, being beautiful on the inside. And being able to present that to people, to lovely people and maybe not so lovely people, being able to bring love and being able to spread a little bit of joy in this world. And the representation of who you are is very important, because too many women specifically don't know who they are, and they don't understand what an honor it is to have been created a woman, and that we have a very special place in this world, very, very special place in this world. So your theory of life and your feeling of life is very, very, very important. And then, of course, the way that you would walk and dress and carry yourself as a feminine woman, not as someone who is just bedraggled, but someone who understands who you are, finding out who you are, and that you're valuable in this world. So that's important. And I think the other part was the talent show, the tap dancing. And, at 94, I'm still going strong.
You're still dancing.
I'll never quit.
Have you always been an empowered woman?
I'm sorry?
Have you always been empowered like you are now?
No, I grew up, even though at the age of 5, I did that little show, I still always felt very, unsure of myself, I kept kind of to myself, and which was not good, because we need to learn to be able to speak out. But as the years grew, and I came to know my wonderful Lord and Savior as my Savior, I was trying to commit suicide. I had tried everything, and God came and saved me. And so that's when he told me who I was. and how important I was and how valuable I was. And he created me just the way he wanted me to be, and that I should not feel ashamed or not feel like, well, nobody cares about me. So I've learned how to honor that God has chosen me to be a woman, and how to walk and encourage other women and encourage young people too, the young ladies, you know, because the young ladies today, they're not getting too many good examples of what it is to be a woman. So I try to encourage that so much.
And Rose, you work so much with the
Thank
youth as well, and giving back
Thank you.
to teenagers and through your cards that you're doing. How are you both working with our youth too? I mean, you set amazing examples, not only for girls and youth as a whole, but the first African American in a high-powered position. How are you helping spread this forward for them to empower themselves?
Well, before I answer that question, I just want to add on to what Adina has already said. There are 4 categories in which the contestants are judged in the pageant. And they are evening gown presentation. You have 35 seconds to give your philosophy of life. There's a 5-minute interview with the individual interview with the judges, and then there's talent. And talent does not necessarily mean you sing or you dance. Some people just don't. But perhaps you're crafty. Perhaps you're a poet. Perhaps you can do a dramatization. It's open. The talent part is requirement is open to
like
many
yours?
different areas.
It is similar in a way. I compete in the Miss America organization for the past 3 years now, and it's also very similar of sharing your passion, speaking out to others, the representation, and being a role model in the community to help other people, girls or boys, just to be that leadership role is very empowering. And it's a lot more than just a sparkly crown. I'm sure that's what I tell people, too, all the time. You know, people ooh and ah over the looks and the glam, but it really is a lot more than just that.
Yes. One of the things that I really enjoy doing, is I go to the Miami-Dade County boot camp. Now, the boot camp is for young people 15 to 25 years of age who have been adjudicated as adults. If they complete the boot camp, which is very rigorous, if they complete the boot camp, they do not have to go to prison for the crimes that they committed. So I go on a regular basis, mostly holidays, Christmas, New Year's, Easter, Independence Day, and have a program that I present to them to encourage them and to change their way of thinking, positive lifestyle, the Bible. That's one of my favorite things that I do in helping the youth in the community. I was at one time the youth director at my church and administrator, and I enjoyed working with those underprivileged children. Not children, young people as well.
You have a question from Adina?
How long is your reign last? Were you recently crowned? Are you just getting started, or are you finishing your year?
Well, it's been very interesting because as soon as I was crowned, COVID entered. And so my crowning should have been over when we had to extend it.
Yes.
They're extending it. This is the first time in the history, right, of Miss Senior Florida.
So
pageant.
you are then the longest reigning Miss Senior Florida as well.
Yes. Yes.
Very
So I'm
special.
continued to reign until
August the 21st.
August 21st.
August
So it'll be like
24th.
almost 2 years.
Which is fantastic.
It's been an honor.
Double the blessing, right?
Oh, yes. Yes.
What do your other friends say or react when you tell them who you are? Are they surprised or not at all?
No, they're not surprised. They're just very honored to know me and to know who I am, because my friends, you know, your friends all are attracted to you. But then when someone else honors them, it's a good feeling to know that person, you know. Oh, I know her. Yeah. But, you know, with the cast that I have of 30, there's about 30 to 40 or 50 of them, they all know who I am, basically. And they know the things that I do and say, oh, Adina wouldn't allow that in the show, or Adina would like this, or she wouldn't like that. Don't let Adina, you know.
Adina, you are so incredibly graceful when you walk in. I mean, right? You're just so poised.
Oh, yes.
And your grace. What, if you know now what you knew, if you knew then what you know now, what would you tell your younger self?
If I knew
then, as you were being a young mother,
Mm-hmm.
being an empowered woman, we're all very into being empowered now in 2022.
Right.
But when you were growing up, women weren't always so empowered. So what would you tell your younger self, knowing what you can accomplish now?
believe in yourself and don't tear yourself down, but walk slowly and observe and look and listen and always try to give out the best. You know, try to encourage other people. Very important. So I always try to lift them up and let them know. You may be in this certain stage of life right now, but it can and will improve if you are willing. But you have to step forward many times. You sometimes have to take a chance and walk by faith in God, and He has the best plan for your life. So if you're when you're in a stage of a younger early, you don't, I know we all think we know everything, but we don't. So just, enjoy your elders, listen to your elders, listen to them because they still have a lot to say, even though they're old, But yes, when you're a younger person growing up, the most important thing is having faith. You have to have faith in the one who created you. Because if He created you, He's the one who loves you. And He's the one that's going to want to make and help you to have a better life. That's it. And He does.
How about you?
Well, I've always been an achiever, and I have my father to thank for that. I was brought up in a time, I'm not as old as Adina, or as young as Adina, but there's not that much of an age difference. And at about 6 or 8, about 8 years old, we had, my father had the talk with us. There's 5 children. Had the talk with us, and it wasn't about the birds and the bees, and it wasn't about where do babies come from. It was, you're going to have to be 10 times better than the next person because of the color of your skin. And he would not allow us to bring a C. C is average. C is average. We would get not a spanking, but a beating if we brought a C home on our report card. And so I've always been an achiever, wanting to do better than the next person, not because I thought I was better, but because it was required of me. And I thank him. I didn't understand then, but I thank him today for instilling that in his children, because we're all achievers.
Tell us about your greeting card line.
I'm sorry.
Your cards. They're all about faith. Today has been a day, and if people who don't believe in messages, then you need to watch our show today, because the messages that have been sent today are all about faith and the fact that you were all here, as well as Morris was here, and God saved him. And it's not about religion. It's not about what you practice. It's about having faith in whatever your greater God is, to bring everyone here today. So you've created a line of trump cards.
Yes.
To encourage faith?
to encourage faith, and yes, to encourage faith. Some of them are faith-based, and I dare say none of them are. All of them are. Yeah, I think all of them are faith-based. One of my favorites is I'm a designer original. And I'll just give you a little bit of it right now. I'm a designer original. I'm the only me. There will never be another compared to me, you see, because my eyes are shaped and colored, uniquely formed and fit. My hands, my feet, expressly shaped to walk and hold a mitt. It matters not what others say or even what they might do. I know I'm going to make it because God's going to see me through. It's a little, that's not on the greeting card. That's one of the poems that I've written, but it's one of my favorites.
Wow, you ladies are so spectacular. You have questions
special.
about how to get involved in Miss Senior Florida?
Yes, what are some of the requirements? If someone was listening right now, Miss Adina, if you inspired some of our viewers to want to get involved, how do they reach out or qualify or?
Well, you have to be at least 60 years old and live in the state of Florida at least 3 months. That's actually all the requirements. You have to, the application and the rules and regulations are on our website, which is www.missseniorflorida.com. Everything is on the website. Even the competition that, the pageant that Adina was in, it's on our website as well. You can see it. You can see it in full. It's virtual. We had to do it virtual. We're going to have to do it virtual this year, but it's well put together. It's well put together, and you'd be proud to be a part of it.
Ladies, they were telling me to run for Miss Senior Florida. I have to wait a couple more years, but then
You
know
have a
what?
little while.
And I told you I don't really know what talent I have, but if I can do this, then we can do that.
We'll set you up with it. Didn't you hear? Talents are flexible. It doesn't have to be singing and dancing. I think you would do an excellent monologue.
Yes, we've had people do monologues before. Yes.
You ladies are truly an inspiration. It has been an honor to have you here with us.
Then you monologue.
I got a few more years to go before
We'll
I
work on
qualify.
it.
Start practicing.
I'm
I'll
gonna
start
practice now.
coaching.
Not too many more years, but a couple more, and then we can do it. Well, it has been an honor to sit here on set with you. Wow.
I kind of like this. We might have to scoot Freddie aside some more.
You ladies are remarkable. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to hear more from you. Truly inspiring on every level. Today's show, a full show of inspiration and all about faith. And if you don't have faith, all I can tell you is watch this show from beginning to end. Our first hour was with Morris Dan and his son Sam, talking about what it was like and why God has brought him forward to share the story of the Holocaust and the atrocities.
It was incredible.
So that we should never, ever go through this again. And what is happening now over in Russia and the Ukraine, we should have learned back from then. And if we have not learned then, listen to his story, and it's going to be documented through the Hashoah Foundation and through Steven Spielberg and his technology of turning Morris into a hologram. So all those questions that you wonder will be answered. And then to move into you ladies as the first African-American woman in politics in Opelika, and everything you've created through faith and through finding God and Miss Senior Florida and Adina. You have inspired all of us to continue to find your passion and through God. Because there are sometimes many of us feel like we just want to give up and give up in a way that you wanted to give up. And it's hearing that voice, again, that voice that we spoke about yesterday, and whatever that voice is that says you do not give up. You keep going and you keep pushing.
That is my motto. I will not give up. I do not give up. Because I know that my God will keep me. He'll hold me steady. And I just wanted to say that going back to when the time that I was trying to commit suicide, that was when I wanted to end it all. I didn't know which way to go, what else to do. And also, I was in Puerto Rico, and my husband had left me. I had 4 children, and I'm in a foreign country, and I didn't know which way to go, what to do. I didn't have money. But I want women to know, you know, if that we women all experience very heavy heavy trials that men don't quite understand or don't experience. But I want women to know that there is hope, that God is the answer, that God will take care of them. He helped me with my 4 children somehow get back to the States. It's a long story, but it's wonderful. It's from suicide to being crowned Miss Senior Florida.
Have you written a book yet?
I'm going to. I know I have to do
You've
that.
traveled the world. Your bio, and I didn't even mention this, Puerto Rico, Israel, Egypt. Is that through business or through, how did you get to travel so extensively?
No, well, my husband was being transferred around to different, we even lived in Egypt for a year, which was very interesting. But my husband was hired by our American government, but to work for the Cairo American Airlines to teach them how to keep all the electronic equipment working on their planes. That was a very interesting experience. So there's so many experiences that we have in life. Some of them are very traumatic, some are very sad, some are happy, and we grow with each experience. And each experience, I believe, makes us stronger. And because we know we have faith in God. So.
Puerto Rico too, over there, Magic Man.
A little bit of everything.
Today has been a little bit of everything, but a whole lot of faith and hope. And the message of today is keep the faith, always have hope, and when things get rough, you just keep going. You take that voice in your head that says, don't give up, and you don't give up. And empowering women, you ladies, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Alana, thank you for sharing the
What
set.
a great Wednesday.
Right?
That was a fantastic, jam-packed show.
Wow. Messages being sent. Thank you for all that you do. Crew, you guys did a spectacular job all day today running board. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Stay safe. We'll see you tomorrow. And I can't tell you what Freddie has planned, but yes, I'm approaching the double nickels tomorrow. Have a great day.
And don't be late.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's about it for today. Even though the show's over,
shit.
the Brooklyn Cafe is always open for business. You're invited to join the fun every day from 12 to 2. If you missed some of the laughs from today, Dawn and Freddie S. will bring you more good cheer next time. You can follow the Brooklyn Cafe on Facebook at the Brooklyn Cafe TV to rewatch every minute of the show. We'll see you next time.
In the cold and sleepless nights, I wait for you to bring me back to life. In my electric eyes, it doesn't mean that time can pick in every single breath. I want to unfreeze my heart and fly away. That's why I wanna save it. Your moons and craters. Open up my eyes, waterfalls of ice, sweeping me away like an avalanche. Helpless as I fall, the words can't say it all. Sweeping me away like an avalanche. Like an avalanche. I listen for a sound, waiting deep inside my maze of sweeping thrills and colors. Just a ray of light, bathing me in drops of ink that glaze across my body. Wish you could unfreeze my heart and we could fly.